Episode 17 of moving my game from Unity to Godot. And I guess it's not moving it anymore because I finally got all the things that I had in Unity to have them here. I have my items, I have my equipping, and I have my crafting, and I finally have my building. Yay! What I want to get started on with today is using the weapons, because currently you can just equip them, but you can't attack, for example, and that's what I want to, have done today. Which would be pretty simple. I already have the attack animation, so I'll probably just be plugging that in first. And I think I'll be connecting that into the interaction controller, because attacking is kind of interacting. I already have in my input map mouse left and mouse right, which I can use for interacting. And all I want to do for now is whenever I press or I release the mouse left, I want to play an animation of the attack. So in my animation tree now, I'll probably have to have something even more complicated, which is great. I currently have a one-shot for jumping, and I should probably have a one-shot for attacking as well. And since I'll probably have different attack animations that I want to randomly play, I think I'll use a transition node because, well, I don't think I can use anything else here. And then I can randomly set the transition index here and then play the one-shot, and it should be playing my attack animation then. Alright, so made everything both for the hold and the unarmed attacks. Unarmed attacks actually have 4 animations, and the hold attacks have 3, but I also attached a timescale node to this because I know they're a bit too slow. I remember in Unity they were a bit too slow, so I want to scale them up a bit, and I think this is how you do it. And then in my interaction controller, all I'm doing is whenever I left click, I get a random number here, depending on which, first I check if we're unarmed or we're holding, which is in my action data, and then I get a random number between 1 and 4 for the unarmed and 1 and 3 for the armed, which is, these transition variables here. And then I set the transition variable to the random index, and I set the one-shot to one-shot request fire. So now that should hopefully work, and it's already very messy looking. Can I say that? I can, because I'll need to be adding a bunch more stuff here, and I don't know how I'm gonna manage that, but that's fine. For now, this should work, hopefully. Are you random? Yeah, you are. Cool. So you can see it randomly picks a attack animation to play, and if I go ahead and maybe pick up a knife, you can see it also randomly picks up an animation for that. That was super simple. Obviously there's one thing I want to fix. When you're inside the inventory you can attack, which is something we do not want. So I'll just have a function for checking if I can mouse left, and then I'll return if it's crafting an inventory, and this will probably get filled with a bunch of stuff down the line. And we should actually right now implement the action data as well. So I can say if action data dot is using action is true, I also want to return false. So if we're already like switching a weapon or something, we can't attack. Perfect. And now I just have to use that here. If can mouse left is true, then actually if can mouse left, then I'll just return here, return. So if it's false, I return. Cool, let's test that. So if we're inside the inventory, you can see we can't attack, and if we're inside of crafting, we also can't attack. Perfect, and if I try while switching a weapon, nothing happens as well. Next thing to add would be some kind of a cooldown, because right now you can just spam it like this, and that's not something we want. And this should be tightly connected with the weapon items. For example, let's get our machete. It does have a... Whoa, it doesn't yet have attack speed. Interesting. So now we should implement attack speed to all the weapons and then see what we're working with. So now each weapon has a attack speed variable of type float, and if I, for example, go to my X, now I can set it. This should be how much it attacks per second. I think I'll just go for 1.5 on all the weapons for now. And now in our can mouse left, we can start using that attack speed variable to track when we attacked. We do have in our action data start using action, which we can actually use for attacking. So whenever we attack, we're using an action. Yeah, that was the original idea, my bad. Alright, so I think I got it working. So whenever I attack, I set attacking boolean to true. I set the attack timer, depending on if we're unarmed, I set it to base attack speed, which is a variable in this script. So this is if we're unarmed. If we do have a weapon, then I set it to the current weapon attack speed. And then I also start using action. And then I have another function called handle attack timer, which just checks if attacking, oh, this is my bad, it should be like that. So if we're attacking, I set the attack timer to minus, delta time, so -1 each second. And then if attack timer reaches 0, I set attacking to false, I reset the attack timer, and then depending on if we're unarmed or armed, I end using action, and that should hopefully work. So let's test that. Yeah, that's working. And if I spam my button while it's using action, I can't do anything. Obviously the timer is a bit long right now. I should definitely decrease this to like 0.75 or something. Let's also test it with a weapon. I don't know, but this knife is my favorite weapon. What's yours? I'm not sure, but this one definitely does it for me. And yeah, it works as well. Cool. I'll definitely want to reduce the timer. Let's check it out right now. Oh, that's a lot better. It could go even lower, but I think I'll leave it like this for now. This. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Alright, next thing I want to do, I know I said I wanted to fix the not smooth animations, but I'll leave that for later, because I think I can get done, well, everything I wanted to get done today. I think I can get it done if I started doing it now. So I wanted to create some kind of a interactable that I can hit and maybe decrease health. I already have stats made for the player. One second, where are they? Stats. For example, player has these stats, which are instantiated, which are created on start or on ready. But using this, I'm pretty sure I can create some kind of a base enemy, which would be great. Alright, so it's been about an hour, and I think I got it working. So I have this enemy interactable. Can I speak today? Yes, I can. Enemy interactable that has character stats, which is just health and stamina. I initialize them on ready. I do have a interact function, which I'm not going to be using, so I just passed, and I create a new function called take damage. All that does is it removes from health the amount that I give it here, and also debugs just so I can see. And then I have interaction test, which we're not even using, so, but I'll leave it here anyways, it's fine. And then in my interaction controller, I did a bunch of stuff. So now whenever I handle mouse left input, I also set raycasting to true, and then I set the raycast timer, same as I did with the attack timer. I set the raycast timer to half of the attack timer. So this means it's gonna raycast at half of the attacking, if that makes sense. So at half the animation of attacking, it will raycast. Now, I could have done this using animation events, but I kind of feel better knowing I can control it all this way. I don't know, animations in Unity sometimes would fuck up, so I think I'll do it in code for now. Maybe I can have a special property on each weapon which tells me at which second I should do it. And then we have the handle raycast timer function, which checks if we're raycasting, decreases from it each second. If it's 0, then I reset the values and I raycast into the interactable layer. And if I hit something, I check if it has a method called take damage, which is on our enemy interactable here. And if it does have that, I give it either the equipment or the current weapon damage, or the base damage, which is just a fist damage, fisting damage, exactly. And yeah, I should be able to damage it. And this is my enemy, very lovely enemy. And yeah, you can now see that I'm decreasing by 5. And let me see what happens if I hit it with a knife. Oh yeah, that does it. And now it's 0. Okay, cool. One more thing I forgot. Because currently we're raycasting at a distance of interaction distance, and I want each weapon to have its own different like range variable. That's perfect. Export variable range of type float. And in the interaction controller, we're gonna have base range as well for our attacking. Our base range, and it's gonna be a float. And then I'll just assign it here whenever we shoot. I'm just gonna have another variable for, oh sorry, not there, here. Range, which is equal to base range if action data dot current state index is not equal to null. Or sorry, if it is equal to null, else we set it to equipment dot current weapon object, or current weapon dot range. Is that what I called it? Yeah, range. Yeah, so that should do it. And then instead of saying interaction distance, we can just say range. Cool. And for now, I guess I'll just do everything the same on all the weapons. This will go through a bit of a polish phase at some point. But for now, I'm just keeping variables here and adding functionality, you know, to be able to change them if I want to. And currently I don't want to. Obviously spears, for example, would have a bigger range, and you know, knife would have a shorter range, maybe even shorter than the fist. Actually no, that does not make sense. I did not say that. Okay, and now we can check the range here. So if I try hitting it from here, it doesn't work. Here it does, here it still does, and here it doesn't. So where's the, okay, that's still a bit of a big range if you ask me. So I'll go for the, I'm fine with that on the weapons, but on the fists I'll just go like 0.75 maybe. Maybe that's still a bit too far. I mean, it depends on the, yeah, I'm fine with that. You have to go personal with the fists. I like that. Okay, amazing. What do I do next? Actually, I know what I want to do, or try and do, which will kind of help the building system in a way. Alright, so first I made it so we can't enter placement mode if there's a weapon equipped, because it doesn't make sense. So you have to be unarmed to enter placement mode. And then in my interaction controller, I also made it so in the can mouse left function, I check if we entered placement. So if we entered placement, we don't want to be able to attack, obviously, because then our building controller will handle the mouse left input here. And then I also made it so our building part interactable has a damage build-in function, which removes from its health value, which is also new. And then if value is empty, it destroys it on the end of the frame here. And in the interaction controller, we check if we have a method take damage. If we don't, or else if we have a damage building method, then we damage the building using the new variable of building damage and base building damage, which are inside the weapon. and inside the interaction controller as a variable on the top. That should work, I think. So if I place a platform, let's place 3 platforms. For example, I think the fist, I set it so the fist does 1 damage, so I'd have to punch it 100 times here. But that's working. If we take maybe a hatchet, this should do maybe 15 damage, I think I set it to do. So if I punch it, you can see I can destroy it. But if we take this building hammer, which obviously the name suggests it should be good at buildings, I can just punch it twice and it destroys it. Cool. Alright, just as this, I also added the destroy function to the enemy, so maybe we can kill him. Let's kill him with my knife. This knife's name now is Jimmy. So Jimmy is very cool. So if I stab the shit out of this guy, it destroys him. Obviously want particles or like a death animation or something, but we have a place where we can do that right now. And also let me just see, if I equip a weapon, can I enter placement? I can't. Cool. And yeah, this was actually very smooth. I know I said I'd fix the animations, but I'm not sure how to do that yet. I'll do some more research and then we'll see. But for now, I think I'm happy for this update. I guess until the next update then. Bye now.